now recording. So, to read Tom's bio, Tom Lewis is the founder of Summit Fiscal Management in Vancouver that provides financial management training and consulting to entrepreneurs. During Tom's 34-year banking career, he has recognized the financial challenges facing business owners like us and their families. Tom was introduced to Profit Mastery 8 years ago through his work in business banking and has used those tools to help his clients gain a strong understanding of their numbers and better manage their business. How's that, Tom?
That sounds good. Good summary.
Good. To get the most out of today's show, we will keep the chat on topic. And of course, we encourage everybody online to participate as much as you can. Ask questions on the lower right-hand corner in the send a message box. Put a slash followed by Q in there, followed by your question, and we will be addressing your question. If you have any comments, certainly add your comment there as well. And to create some interaction, if we say anything of interest, give us props. The props are found on the bottom right-hand corner of each window. For example, I'm now going to give Tom some props. I see that someone else has already given some props as well. So if we say something interesting, give us props.
All right.
Okay. And so, Tom, are you ready?
I am. Fire away.
Great. I have a list of questions which I'm going to ask you. And I think the best place to start, so as to put things in perspective, so people can understand what you have to say in context.
Yes.
Let's start with an explanation, a description, some insight into what is profit mastery.
All
Can
right.
you give us the big picture?
Right. So Profit Mastery was developed over a 30-year period by a company in the U.S. So it's a combination of financial tools and resources put into a workshop series for small business owners. It leads them through a 7-step process, which they can use to learn the basics of financial strategies, and we lead them through that process. Profit Mastery supports that because with financial software that allows business owners to implement the systems that we teach. So it's unique in the market from that perspective. Because it's fine to go to a seminar, but if you don't implement the strategies, then it's not going to work for you. And we want to help small business owners become more successful, more profitable, and contribute to the growth of the economy.
Right. And a follow-up question is, how long has Profit Mastery been teaching business owners about this financial stuff,
Right.
which clearly is very important in any business? And many business owners don't know about these tools, which are very effective in managing the finances, the money in a company.
Right. So it's been taught for over 30 years, largely in the U.S. through the American Small Business Development Centers, which would be the equivalent of our Small Business BC. So all the counselors in those centers learn the Profit Mastery system and share that and mentor small business owners there. It's being taught in Australia as well as Europe. The founder of the company, Steve Lefevre, attends conventions all across America and with particular emphasis on franchises, and works with business owners there to help improve their financial IQ. The program is now available online as of 2008, so it's available to a wider reach of small business owners that can't make it to live events.
Yes, so it certainly sounds like a very comprehensive program.
Oh yeah, there's been over 500,000 business owners have gone through this program, and we have proven results. So,
and has stood the test of time.
Exactly.
So then who stands to benefit the most, learning this profit mastery system?
Right.
Generally business owners, but is there a particular group of business owners or a particular type of business? Perhaps you can elaborate on that.
Yeah. So
to give the listeners perhaps a clearer understanding how this could work for them or not.
Right. So one of the primary focuses of the course is cash flow management, and that can be a problem, particularly for product-based companies. So retailers, wholesalers, distributors, for example, building supply companies, anyone that supplies the general contractor, so plumbers, electricians, drywall people, welders, they all carry some form of inventory and they sell their product on credit. So they have receivables and inventory, and the management of those two assets is key to cash flow in the business. But we see this, so other examples would be your on the retail side, optometry offices, shoe stores, family clothing stores, anything like that on the retail side. On the manufacturing side, CNC machine shops, people that are making stuff for the market. But service companies have gone through the program with me as well. So, moving companies and so forth. So, and franchises it's great for because they usually have multiple stores, and we can teach to the whole group. So,
cool. I'll give you some props for that. Are there some businesses, companies where this won't work? Cash businesses like hair salons or restaurants where they have very limited inventory. They're not managing inventory, but they are managing people. The course doesn't focus on people management, although if there was a group or an association in that sector, we could bring in people to talk to that pain point for a lot of those people. So I would say cash businesses would be something that wouldn't get as much out of it. Right. Before we go on to the next question, I want to encourage listeners to send a tweet to your followers, post them something on Facebook. Let's get as much engagement as we can on the show. And the next question I have for you is, tell us about your workshops. I understand that you run workshops to teach this methodology, and these workshops are physical workshops where people attend in a physical classroom style, and you have face-to-face teaching and learning. And then, of course, I think listeners would like to know if you have these kind of workshops online as well.
Right. I love teaching the workshops. That's being there with a group of people where we can exchange ideas. Can be really dynamic. We use streaming video for the key learning points, but we spend about 40% of our time doing hands-on case study work, which is really important to most of us adults because by actually doing, we learn better. So we can learn the tools and then take them back to the business and apply them right away. I hold the workshops right now on a quarterly basis, so we're right in the middle of one right now. And I've been bringing in special guests to add value to these sessions. So, for example, we bring in like a purchasing manager that can give the people in the class tips on how to reduce their cost of goods sold, which is a key component to the net profitability of most businesses. The class itself is 16 hours, so I have been teaching them in 4-hour increments on a Friday or a Thursday morning. The one I'm planning for April will be a 3-day event starting on a Friday and going through Sunday. So business owners only have to sacrifice one day in the shop to come out to the workshop.
Okay, I see that addresses Fred's question. He was wondering how long the training period was for.
Yeah.
And I want to let the viewers know that if any of you want to ask a question, you need to type in a / and a Q followed by your question. Here's an example. Does this read straight to you, Tom? Because to me it's inverted, it's back to front, but for you
it's straight to me. Yep.
Okay, yeah, so everyone, to ask a question, bottom right-hand corner, type / a Q followed by your question, and then your question will appear in the left-hand column, and we're better able to answer your question. Thank you. It will make things much easier for us that way. All right. Now, for the next question, I have another question lined up for you here.
I think you did ask about online, the online program. So
yes,
sometimes business owners are challenged to get out or get away from their business, and time is typically a roadblock to doing this. We do have an online program where they can take the course on their own computer over the weekend, or in bite-sized portions. So they can come out, do an hour a night, or however they want to do it, and get through the course. And if they have questions that they're challenged by, they can contact me via Skype or Zoom, and we can walk through those things together. Happy to provide support to any business owner that wants to increase their financial acumen.
For the future, near future, have you considered having holding a fully fledged online training course, perhaps using Google Hangout or other such online tools where everybody can gather and you can provide your course face-to-face, live, there then?
It's challenging because we use a resource book that's 400 pages long, and really the people that take the course have to have that in hand. So doing it online would be in that fashion would be challenging. Yeah.
Challenge.
Yeah. And I love the workshops because it's hands-on, and if people are struggling, as they tend to do with new experiences, I can go and help them through the process.
Yes, I can see that this requires a paradigm shift. I believe it's certainly possible.
Yeah.
However, changes need to be made to your program. The content will still be the same, but how you deliver it, yep, and how you manage it and how you interact with the students would certainly be different.
Right.
An interesting challenge, and
yes,
I'm sure that you will do it.
Some skill development for me. There we go.
Oh, yes.
Awesome.
Fred also asked about the cost, the typical
right,
cost of one of these courses. Can you enlighten us on that?
Sure thing. So it's 970 Canadian for the 2-day program that I'm currently holding. If I go to the 3-day and bring in additional speakers, the cost will creep up a little bit, but 970 is the base cost for the program, as well as the online course.
Okay. And what's the typical size of your class?
Anywhere between 5 and 10 people. Like to keep it fairly intimate so that I have time to work with everybody, and everyone's comfortable in a smaller setting, exchanging ideas. But at some point in the future, I may get up to 20 people, in which case, larger venues and that kind of stuff will have to take place. But right now I'm working in boardrooms of accounting firms and that kind of stuff, just community boardrooms around the Tri-Cities area.
Yes, smaller is better.
Yeah.
Tom, how about this question? What if I'm financially illiterate? What if the candidate is financially challenged?
Right. So
you send them away to do a financial course first?
I don't. I'm a pretty patient fellow, so we'll work with anyone, right? The course is actually quite good for somebody that is challenged and can't read their own financial statements. We're going to walk through, the balance sheet and the income statement in some detail. I might actually have them meet with them one-on-one prior to the start of the workshop, or meet them online to kind of go through it. I can send them the documents. I can scan a few documents to them, and we can kind of walk through the basics to kind of get them up to speed for the class. But it's those business owners that we really want to reach, because they're probably, when they started off, they were good at selling, or they're good at making something, and they're really lost in the financial thing. So they're really relying on their bookkeeper or accountant, but bookkeepers and accountants aren't decision makers. If you're running a business, you need to know what's going on financially in your company, so you can avoid the pitfalls that so many business owners fall into today.
Right. So you help them gain enough understanding,
right,
to help or work with their bookkeepers and accountants,
right,
to help them make important decisions for the company.
They don't need to know the nitty-gritty, but they do need to know the big picture, so that they can ask the right questions of their bookkeepers and accountants, so they get the information they need to make important business decisions.
Yes, and understand the answer that they're given.
Right. Yeah.
Here's an interesting question from XR Roofing, Tom.
Okay.
He says, and I read, "I'm coming late to the party, no problem. But as a small business, we end up bankrolling customers, contractors, to a point we struggle to make payroll. The banks don't seem to want to help to get in these situations, courses, or know how for these circumstances." So it seems that when they struggle to make their payroll, they want to turn to their banks for financial assistance, and clearly the banks are not helping them. Right. So how can he be helped?
Right. So banks are a different beast for sure. Have been a banker for 34 years, so I know their processes and so forth. Banks really rely a lot on the net worth and personal credit of the individuals that apply for credit. And in the construction business, that tends to be an issue. If there's security, the banks would typically go along, but each case is different. The management of the accounts receivable in the business, there are what we call best practices, things that you can do to try and keep the, particularly general contractors are notorious for late payment. But if you're not on them, you're not going to get paid, and you need to know when to put liens in place to encourage the payment from the general contractor. If you're not good at collecting receivables and you're deferring it to someone else, like your receptionist or your wife or someone like that, that generally doesn't work too well. You need personal contact with the person making decisions at the other end. If that's not your style, you could actually have someone manage those receivables for you, and there's companies out there that will do that. Unfortunately, factoring is not a solution for roofing people, as they don't deal in construction with construction companies.
Okay, thank you for that question, Mr. XR Roofing. Great. Keep the questions coming in. This is the next question that I've been given. What if I'm the opposite of being financially illiterate? What if I'm a financial pro, like an accountant or a bookkeeper?
Right.
How can you help these people?
Right.
Or how are they able to work with you? Because do they not already know everything?
In fact, they don't know everything. They are good with numbers, but they aren't particularly good at communicating financial concepts to people that don't have a financial background. It's interesting, in my course right now, I've got 3 accountants in this course, and we had a sales pro come in to talk to the group, and we asked the accountants if they were in fact salespeople. and they all kind of looked at each other, and the general consensus was, no, we are financial professionals. We don't have to sell, which is really the farthest thing from the truth. They need to grow their own practices, their own businesses, and being able to get customers to ask them about consulting services and services that the information that they have in their heads is really important. So they need this course to help better communicate with their own clients and explain concepts in terms that their clients can understand, so that they're speaking from the same page. I've had people that have got MBAs come to the course and said they've learned something. So I think that sort of speaks for it itself. The course itself does qualify for CPE credits, and accountants are required to get a certain number of learning hours in a year. So it's a good process for that.
Right. So you serve as a communication vehicle between the business owner and the accounting department.
Yes. And
so that they understand one another and are able to make important business financial decisions as a group.
Right.
So
and,
everybody moves in the same direction.
Exactly. And I've got resources that I give to business owners, like the 5 top questions you should ask your accountant today. So if people are interested in that, they can just send me an email and I'll provide that to them.
Okay. At the end of the program, I'm going to give everybody your contact details.
Great.
Okay, so everyone, we would like more props. Let me give Tom some props for giving some great answers to some great questions. Okay. Here's another question. Past client success. Can you give us a story which will help us put in perspective how this financial information has helped one of your past clients?
All right. So one of the first tools that we teach clients in the class is how to and why to measure financial performance in a business. Because our mantra is really what gets measured gets managed, and what gets managed gets done. So one of my first clients, she runs a optometry store, and she took the course, took that tool back to her business, completed her scorecard, if you will, and figured out that she was carrying, $20,000 in excess inventory, and so that allowed her to see what was going on in her inventory systems, and they were able to sell a portion of that inventory and bring in $20,000 in cash into their business. So it's the tools like that. They're little things, but $20,000 extra in your bank account at the end of the month can have a huge impact in a business.
Yes.
We found that businesses that implement our systems typically see an increase in their net profitability of, on average, 15%. So some only get 10, some get 30, but it's so on average, about that 15%, and that can make a huge impact again. So if you look at it in terms of a return on investment, if your sales of $100,000, it's $1,500, and things just sort of multiply from there.
Right. Yes, I can see how understanding the mechanics of the financial system, understanding how they work, can help one see where money is being lost, where costs can be cut, where sales can be increased. Right. All resulting towards greater profits. Yeah.
What typically happens in a cycle where the economy is growing is that business owners are focused on revenue, and they're not looking at controlling costs. And we really want them to focus on costs the entire time, so that during good times they're retaining more earnings to support the company through recession. Because then things start to get tight, and that's when business owners then start looking at controlling costs. But it can be fortuitous, I guess, on the downward slope.
Makes total sense, because clearly to increase profit. Yes, on the one hand, one needs to increase sales, but then one should also cut back on costs.
Yeah. Well, we eat off the bottom line, right? That's right.
But we don't want to eat too much.
Right.
And related to that question, what kind of results can your candidates expect?
Right.
After completing one of your rigorous courses?
Right. Each company is different because everyone brings something different to the table. What we do is compare people's results against their industry peers to see where the opportunities are. And in fact, if I can meet with clients one-on-one, I can do a quick assessment to find out exactly where the holes are. They might be strong on the profit side, but weak on the cash management side, or vice versa. So everyone can sort of expect different results. But if, for example, we're looking at the gross profit margin, and we find out through our processes that you're 4% low on your versus your industry peers on the average, we can quantify how much money is being left on the table, and through better management and support, improve that area. So we determine what the problem is. So we have a monetary figure on how we want to close that gap, and then we want to look at the possible causes of a low gross profit margin. And there's 7 areas we look at there. But which I won't go into today, but that's the methodology. Is changing management behavior. So it could be on the productivity side, it could be technology, it could be HR, it could be leadership. So we want to look at those areas and see where we can strengthen the management of the company.
Right. So following from that question, because the criteria are so varied and the scenarios are so different, and people are different. They have a different background, a different understanding, different experience, different emotions.
Yeah.
What if they don't get the results that you're talking about?
Right. So Profit Mastery provides a 200% money-back guarantee on the program, as long as they prove they try to implement the systems. We're pretty confident about the process, that it will produce results, but people have to make the effort to actually implement the system. So if they can do that and they don't get the results they're looking for, they get their money back, then some.
Right. Now Tom, I'm going to do something different.
Okay.
I am going to invite one of our viewers, someone from our audience. His name is Kurosh Payman. And most certainly, he has a question that he would like to ask you. Shall we let him in?
Awesome.
And here is Kurosh Paymani.
Yes.
Hey, Kurosh.
People call me Dr. Corey. I have a PhD in business.
Awesome.
Okay, so Dr. Corey, welcome.
Thank you.
Is there a question you would like to ask Tom?
What's your expertise in, just in brief?
All right, so 34 years. Yeah, 34 years in banking, 23 years spent in the commercial and small business segment. So I've dealt with hundreds of business owners over my career.
Any stock advice or anything like that?
I do have personal. I offer personal. Well, I personally been involved with the stock market for over 30 years, but that's not the focus of Profit Mastery.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking for stock advice, I'd suggest talking to a qualified broker, and I could certainly recommend some good ones in the Vancouver area.
So you strictly answer questions concerning profit making?
Business management,
right?
Correct. Yes, yes.
Business man, okay. And that's what actually my dissertation was on, global consulting. Okay, so in regards to profit in general, with the economy that we have, and you being in banking and so forth.
Yes.
would you say that at this point in time is the best time to get a large sums of loan, and of course for construction reasons and whatnot? Would you say this is the best time, or I should maybe wait a couple of months?
Right. Well, in the construction business, particularly in Vancouver, where we've seen prices escalate, I would think that the bank's appetite for real estate loans are they're probably somewhat guarded at this point. I think, as you know, residential house construction is speculative at best. If that's the kind of financing you're looking for, you might want to wait till the market cools down a little bit. But I can't speak for the banks.
Tom, Dr. Corey, I think we're veering off the subject here. So thank you for your question, and you're certainly most welcome to contact Tom after this radio show.
Yes, I appreciate it. I just wanted to say that I think we should see, because if Trump becomes the president, it may be a lot of construction going on in the United States. That's why I wanted to basically get a kind of like a suggestion of some sort. But I appreciate your comment. Have a good day.
All right.
Thank you, Dr. Corey.
Well, a good.
Take care.
If construction.
Do you have any question for?
I'll just add that if construction in the States does take off under Trump, that's a good reason for Canadian companies to start exporting to the States with the value of our dollar low. We become very competitive in that market.
Yes, and that's what the Canadian bank wants to do.
Yes.
Next question. Do you offer post support for your workshops? So once your candidates have gone back to their business and try and implement what you have taught them, most certainly they will encounter difficulties, new questions will arise, and most certainly they need some additional advice, preferably from you. Do you offer any kind of assistance in this light?
So it's multi-pronged approach here. I've done several things. One is I set up what I call a performance group on LinkedIn for business owners that want to ask questions. And in that group, I've got accountants and other professionals. So if I don't know the answer, then there's someone in the group that can. I mentioned the software. So this is a system that works with QuickBooks that automatically and securely allows the program to draw the information and do the financial calculations for them, saving them time, and automatically identifies areas in their business where they should focus on to improve the management of the company. If they want someone to come in like a part-time CFO for 2 to 3 months until they're comfortable with the system, I'm happy to do that. I don't go in long-term, but for a short period of time to basically provide some support and some doing some business strategy work, I'm happy to provide that support to customers. I also have access to a myriad of consultants in various areas, so sales, procurement, which I mentioned earlier, inventory control, ERP systems that can come in and help support that business owner take his business to the next level of performance.
So what you're referring to here are software packages, software tools,
right,
that can help them.
Yeah.
Which clearly are very elaborate, and it's really a subject that you wouldn't be able to talk much about on here. They would need a show of their own.
Perhaps. I mean, we have a proprietary program called Profit Gap, which models the Profit Mastery course so that the business owner would be familiar with all the reports that they're looking at. So it's a great sort of combination in terms of, and no other program is like that. The software tutorials, so that if they get stuck on, what should I be looking for, they can click a tutorial and get a quick review of the information that they've learned in the course. So,
right. So this software tool will hold their hands once they've finished your course.
Yep.
And they need some quick assistance on the fly.
Yeah.
before contacting you, they would go to this software tool and see if they can sort their problem out there and then.
Yeah.
And if not, then they would contact you. So
Sure.
it's like an interim solution.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, sounds good. And how do I get started? How does anybody get started with your program?
Right.
What is the starting point?
Well, the first thing is they have to contact me, and we'll talk a little bit about their business, and then they register. We ship them their resource guide and get them scheduled in for the next live workshop if that's what they want to do, or we can talk about the online course, and basically the decision made is there. If business owners are curious or skeptical or whatever, I do regular talks for various business groups throughout the Vancouver area. Doing a self-hosted event coming up on February the 23rd that they can find out about. And I'm also speaking for the Vancouver Business Network, Roger Killen's group, if anyone's familiar with that, downtown in the end of March. Sorry. Yeah.
So would this be related to this question that you have an introductory event coming up?
Yes. So the event on the 23rd is going to be held at the Poco Inn Suites in Port Coquitlam. It's a 90-minute presentation specifically targeted for customers that are experiencing rapid growth and want some strategies in terms of how to control that and get information that they can put together to approach their bankers for additional financing. The cost is only $25 at the door, and I'm donating the net proceeds to a local youth charity called Access Youth Outreach Services, which helps at-risk kids in the streets of the Tri-Cities.
So I imagine that this introductory event would be something that you could do online.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Which brings me to the use of video to help your business. I'm particularly interested in video content marketing to help businesses grow, promote themselves.
Yes.
I would like to see businesses add video to their marketing mix. So I would like to ask you a couple of questions about that.
Sure.
Is that cool with you?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So I think that you have an idea of the type of videos that are possible to add to a company's marketing mix. Is that correct?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Do you have an idea of what type of video you would start with? And I'm assuming that you don't have any marketing videos in your marketing mix, other than I think you have a video that was recorded at one of your presentations. And I did come across another video where someone gave you a video testimonial, which was very cool.
Right. Yeah, so I have the one on my website. So that was done for me about a year and a half ago, I think. So it's kind of just basically a quick talk about Profit Mastery, what it's about, but really no details. So I have tried to do stuff on my own using Lead Pages and GoToWebinar with some frustration. So I tried sending out material to the viewers. And yeah, I didn't get the engagement that I was looking for, so I abandoned the project.
So if you had to engage a professional video company or get some professional video assistance with your videos, what would be your first video that you would ask them to help you with, or even produce for you?
Right. Well, I do two different presentations. So the one for growing companies, the other one is how to measure financial performance and use it as a tool to identify opportunities in the business to strengthen profitability and cash flow. So I could do either one of those.
So those would be sales related videos where any of your prospective customers would watch this video and get an understanding of the benefits that they would get from attending one of these courses.
Yeah, there's definitely value in each of the presentations that I give. So they would walk away with an actual tool from the Profit Mastery process that they could apply to their business right away.
Is this what they would get from watching the video?
Yes, if I did the full hour-long one, but I gather people don't watch videos for that long. It really depends on how interested they are, I guess. But
so these videos then would be paid for. They would pay. You would sell these videos as training programs.
I hadn't thought of it that far ahead, but the ones that I tried myself were basically free. But until people actually experience dealing with me, they don't know whether they're going to get value or not.
All right. So then these videos that you intended to produce would be like tasters, to give people a taste of one of your programs.
Right.
You know, what it's like to go through your program, how it works,
yeah,
the level of difficulty, the engagement, and of course, what they would get out of it. And of course, if they really like it and they're really benefiting from it, and they can see that it's in line with their core values,
right,
then they would move forward and engage your whole program.
Right. Yep. That's the idea.
Okay. And so what would be the three greatest benefits of using marketing videos?
Right.
What three benefits come to mind?
Exposure. So getting my name out there. Hopefully engagement, so that people would take that next step. And third, just generally help people in the audience focus a little bit more on financial management, which seems to be the bane of most small business owners.
Okay. And certainly visibility, awareness,
yes,
would be one of the big ones.
Right.
Because you would create the video and then distribute it on the internet to as many relevant places as possible.
Right.
And then people would see you, see your work,
yes,
see what you have to offer from at any time that is convenient to them,
yes,
from any place convenient to them as well. And this would be happening when you're on holiday, asleep, not at your office.
Yeah.
So it would be working for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have a YouTube channel, and I've got I do quite active on LinkedIn. I post articles on a pretty regular basis, Facebook and Twitter. So
all the big ones, the important ones. Yes. Yep. What advice do you have to give businesses that are not using marketing videos?
I heard a talk yesterday, in fact, that video marketing is going to be the place that you need to be for marketing by 2017. So get in front of the curve, and you need a video on the front page of your website. Clickable content is critical to engaging your clients, and video. There's no better way of doing that than having video throughout your website, so people get engaged and stay on your website, and you get higher conversions. So I think that's probably a pretty good summary.
Yes, businesses need to use videos now, not wait for 2017.
Yeah, and they've got to be of good quality. I mean, you've got to really have you have to look around at your competitors, see what they're doing, and you've got to be, top of the game.
Yes, you're right. Rather than have many videos everywhere, rather focus on fewer videos that are high quality and well placed
Absolutely.
It's easy to make videos. However, it's not easy to make marketing videos.
Right.
Marketing videos need to be well planned, need to capture the audience's attention within the first 10 seconds. They need to be focused, clear, deliver a message. They need to be educational, informative, and of course, if they're entertaining, all the better. And
Right.
at the end, there always needs to be a call to action.
Right.
What types of videos do you see yourself using in the future?
Boy. I'm not, I guess, kind of some kind of like a drip campaign almost. So smaller videos have to be fairly short to keep people's attention. So 1 or 2 minute videos
Yes.
that can be streamed out on various social media channels to pique the interest of the audience and getting them in touch with me.
Right. And one of the most important videos is video testimonials.
Correct. Yeah.
I've seen one of yours. Do you remember? Do you know which one I'm referring to?
I don't. I got lots of written testimonials, but not. I don't.
You don't remember the video testimonial? I saw it yesterday and it was really cool. Let me see if I can find it, because then I would like to show it.
Yeah, I'd love to see it.
Let me see where it is. Here it is. Now, I hope that it plays. Let's see.
I've given video testimonials for a number of people.
So you know how powerful they are.
Yeah.
Now you need more for profit mastery.
Yes.
Okay. Why don't you accept it? Let me see.
That's all right.
Okay. It's playing on YouTube. So let me do this. Paste it in there. Paste. And now Blab needs to, it's loading, which is good.
Yeah.
And there it is. Now if I say okay, and then I do this, no, that didn't work. Oh, there we are.
Okay, so this is actually not my testimonial, but it is the testimonial from Zoan that's gone through the Profit Mastery class in the States, actually. And I don't think I can hear him, but...
Oh, I can.
Okay, so this is the one that's taken the course online.
Yes.
And
let's listen to him. He says some really good things about you,
okay.
About your course. So you say you don't hear it, Tom?
I don't know.
Maybe the other people don't hear it either. I will let it play out because it's not long. It's about a minute long.
Yeah. If your audience wants to go to YouTube and Google Profit Mastery, they'll find this video there.
Yes. Okay. So now what is important is to give people your contact details.
Right. So they can...
we had some comments here from David Mobley. And he says that he's a fan of the stock market and you need to speak with Nostradamus.
All right.
Okay, I see that there was no sound for the viewers. I apologize for that.
Yeah. So they can go to my site and find the video, or they could go to YouTube and just they can actually, if they try and find my YouTube channel, I'll have it there as well.
Okay, we now need to give them your contact details. Okay, this is your website.
It's www.profitmastery.ca.
Yeah. As it is on the screen, correct?
Correct, yeah.
So I'm now going to put the link down at the bottom, make it easy. There we are.
Good. And they can also contact.
I'm now going to give them your email address.
Perfect.
Here it is. And voila. And that too, I am going to type in at the bottom so people can just click on it and not make a type in mistake, because then it will not go anywhere. Is that correct, Tom?
That's correct. And they can use training or consulting at profitmastery.ca. They'll all work.
Okay, well, we'll give them that to start with because it works.
Yep, perfect.
Okay.
I'm also on Twitter. Profits Tom is my handle.
Okay, I don't have that here. Well, you can type a message down at the bottom, Tom.
Okay, yep.
So do you want to type in your Twitter address there? Give the people a link.
All right, so it's just my Twitter handle, and they can connect with me on LinkedIn as well. They just use the email address that's already shown, and we can connect, and you can find out more information about it through LinkedIn.
Okay, great. And we have pretty much run out of time, so I want to give everybody my contact details as well to get the big picture about creating videos and promoting them online. Subscribe to my weekly newsletter where every week I send you one page in point form, very easy to digest, which gives you a big picture and overview of what you can do to create business videos and promote them online.
All right,
yes.
Yeah. Thank you for the opportunity to come and speak on your show today.
You're very welcome.
Appreciate that. Yeah.
You're very welcome. Let me just give everybody a link as well to my newsletter, which looks like that. So that is my newsletter link, and I will type the link in the bottom as well, make it easy for viewers. There we are.
All right, and if anyone in the audience has questions, general business questions that they'd like to ask, please send me an email and I'll get back to you as quickly as possible.
Yes, XR Roofing here, thanks you for helping him out.
Contact me
Thanks, Tom.
offline. Yeah.
Great. And XR Roofing also says it is required, well, let me put it online here. It is a required show. You are booked taking this course. Do you understand the question, Tom? It is required. Doesn't matter. Leave it.
Yeah.
XR Roofing can contact you directly about this.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. So we have 4 minutes to go to the hour. I think we've done well. Okay. And I just want to quickly give people an idea of all the topics that are covered in the newsletter.
Yeah.
They're very difficult to read,
yeah.
So let me just show them quadrant for quadrant. So quadrant 1, it's easier to read. So my newsletter, I will cover things, how to share your videos on the internet using social media, cover topics like video marketing strategies, how to create your own videos, the cost of creating business videos, and there is more. I cover video search engine optimization on YouTube. I cover e-marketing for videos, how to measure the effectiveness of your videos online, and making your videos more effective online from a marketing point of view. And there are 2 more quadrants left. And the 3rd quadrant covers my newsletters, include all the different sites that you can upload your videos to, the types of videos that you can make that are available to you. We talked about that, Tom.
Yes.
There's a list of like 20 different types of videos. There's really, one can really be creative and create a great variety. The do's and don'ts in video content marketing. And of course, there's a certain specific category of videos which are called social videos. In my newsletter, I discuss that. And the last quadrant shows that my newsletters cover the definition of video content marketing, why you need video content in your marketing mix, creating the very important video script. Before getting in front of any camera, you must have a video script.
Right.
And of course, the role that the all-important social media plays in video content marketing for marketing your business. Okay. So, a last word from you, Tom, before we wrap up and say goodbye.
Yeah, to the audience, if you haven't got video in your marketing campaign, I'd see Marino as quickly as possible, and make it part of your marketing campaign. It's the future.
Thank you, Tom.
All right.
And thank you for participating on this radio show.
My pleasure.
This is Moreno with Moving Frames on radio, signing off. Until next Saturday, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, where I will quiz another business about the topic of influence and find out what they're doing in terms of video content marketing. Thank you for showing.
All right. Thanks, Marino.
Until next time.